Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi ta'ala wabarakatuhu. Mampiyo mapita sa kanulangan mga wata. Sa guna agay na adan video ababagilay nami. Nya dalo mo niya ba video ng mga tutulan ng mga tuwa tao paganan. Na nya ni mga title na Indarapatra at Sulaiman, Bida Sari, and the Blue Blood of the Bigastana. Sa kailay no sa niya ba video, kapasad numilay sa mga tutulan ba anto, naming kaadin kalnya no bagid sa o adon mga katiga na kalnya no pagdalo, na kapag ken no sa kaning ipag-comment sa comment section na niya ba YouTube account. Sa ka-comment no manam, naming kakapasangan ko babaliw sa mga katigano sa niya no magamit na pada language mana su Tagalog undo English na kapakeng ko panggamit sa mother tongue tanong niya ba Maguindanaon na niya namin mapangini sa kailay no sa niya ba na magkakwako sa guna undo adan katuntayan sa kapasad no milay sa niya ba video na adan pedua idza nami sa lekano inubayan nami niya ba mga idza na lumba upuntanan sa mga tuntulan ba ato inilay no. Para sa question ba ito na click no buo description box, kaluong ba nakabatad su link. Ando, may ka nakapasad ka nun dun na chat ka no buo sa GC daw. Sukran.
Indarapatra and Sulaiman, an epic from Mindanao. Long time ago, in Mindanao, many people were living in prosperity. There were two brothers who ruled over the land, namely Sulaiman and Indarapatra. But suddenly, four monsters appeared coming from nowhere. The first monster is Kurita, a creature with many limbs. Next is Tarabusaw, an ugly person, Pa, an enormous bird, and a dreadful bird with 7 heads. Indarapatra summoned his brother Sulaiman to kill and to stop the monsters from destroying their land.
"You shall go and kill those monsters,"
said Indarapatra.
"I will go and our land shall be avenged,"
replied Sulaiman. Suddenly, Kurita appeared, and because of anger, Sulaiman killed it. Then he went to Mount Matuton to kill Tarabusaw. At Mount Bita, the great and enormous bird appeared. Sulaiman cut the wing of the bird, but it fell onto him and he crashed. Because of the dying of the tree, which symbolizes the life of Sulaiman, his brother assumed that he is dead, so he began to search for it. King Indarapatra went to Mount Bita, and there he saw the body of his brother. He poured water over the body of his brother. And then Sulaiman came back to life again. King Indarapatra continued the journey of his brother to Mount Gurain, where he killed the 7-headed monster. The people who survived in the monsters came out, and because of the braveness of Indarapatra, the headman offered her daughter to the king to show their gratitude. And that's the end of the story of Indarapatra and Sulaiman. Blue Blood of the Big Astana by Ibrahim A. Jubaira. Characters: Jafar, Dayang-Dayang, Babu, Muramuraan, Iting, Apa, and Ambo. The story starts as the flashback of the life of Jafar as an orphan and a servant of the Datu's daughter. As they get older, Jafar always thinks about Dayang-Dayang, and his feelings towards her grow stronger, but he always reminds himself that he shouldn't have feelings towards her because he's not a blue blood. Months later, a young Datu asked Dayang-Dayang's hand in marriage, leaving Jafar broken-hearted. Years later, when they lived their separate lives, the royal family encountered many problems. Muramuraan raised hand against the Christian government and was sent to prison. Appa and Abbo died and majority of their lands and possessions were confiscated. Jafar went to Bonbon on business and saw the young with her children. He saw that she was working and stressed and saw that she was not used to the hard labor. Jafar wants to go back to her to help and take care of her because he misses her and still loves her. Even though Jafar really wanted to go back to the young, he stopped himself because he still has no blue blood and not even the fingers of Allah could weave our fabric to equality. That ends the story of Blue Blood of the Big
The
Astan.
epic called Bidasari of Maguindanaon was based on a Malay romance. Based on their beliefs, the life of humans was tended by a fish, creature, plants, or trees in order to make their lives longer. Bidasari, an epic. The kingdom of Kembayat is threatened by a monstrous bird. This bird was feared since it destroys crops and human lives. That monstrous bird is the Garuda, and when it comes, people run away and hide, especially in caves where they cannot be seen. Humans were afraid of the bird because they are its food. As they were chased by the Garuda, the Sultan and Sultana, who was bearing a child, ran in separate ways. Because of the tremendous fear that the Sultana felt, it made her give birth near the river. She hid the baby inside the boat and left it there. The merchant Diohara, who is from another kingdom, found the child and raised her. She named the child Bidasari and considered her as it is her own daughter. Bidasari grew into a beautiful woman and loved the merchant who raised her dearly. In Indrapura, a sultan named Mongindra was married to Lilasari for 2 years. Lilasari was worried that the sultan will love another woman. Hence, consistently asking him if he still loves her, which he replied yes. Lilasari was not contented with the answer. Thus, she asked with another question if the sultan will find someone more beautiful than her and forget her. To which the sultan replied that she is still beautiful regardless. The sultana was still worried that there are girls who are more beautiful than her and would be found by the sultan. Still unsatisfied, she ordered her subjects to scout the kingdom to see if there are someone more beautiful than her. The henchmen found Bidasari, who was indeed more beautiful. The sultana invited the maiden to the palace to serve as the sultan's dame. However, Bidasari was imprisoned secretly by Lilasari and she was punished there. When she was unable to resist the suffering, she told the sultana that she will fetch a golden fish from her father's garden. The fish will serve as a necklace for Lilasari in the morning and returns to the water at night, and Bidasari will die. The sultana agreed and she sent her home. Lilasari wore the necklace in the morning and returns it to the water at night. As told, Bidasari is buried on the day and returns back to life at night. Diyohara was worried that her daughter will soon die for real, so she built a palace in the woods and made Bidasari live there. One day, while Sultan Mungindra was hunting in the woods, he found a wonderful palace. He forced to open the door and went inside the rooms. He saw Bidasari lying on a bed. He was unable to wake her up. He returned home without talking to Bidasari. He went back to the palace another day and waited until nighttime. Bidasari woke up eventually. They both talked and the maiden confessed everything, including Lilasari's harsh treatment to her. This enraged the Sultan, who left Lilasari to rule his former kingdom and married Bidasari, who became the queen. After many years, the real parents of Bidasari peacefully lived again on Kimbayat. They got another child aside from Bidasari and they named her Sinapati. When the other child of Diyohara went to Kimbayat, she saw Sinapati, who really looked like Bidasari. Sinapati asked her parents if they had another child aside from her who went missing. Sinapati's father asked her to go with him to Indrapura. When Bidasari and Sinapati saw each other, they were shocked by the similarities of their facial features. The Sultan of Kimbayat found his missing daughter, who is Bidasari. The Sultan of Indrapura, on the other hand, also found out that his wedded wife is a real princess after all.
The end.